another reading vlog. That is a stipulation. So, like, comment, subscribe. Oh my god. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren and this is Lauren's Library. Today I have decided to do a 24-hour reading vlog because the books that I read so far this month are books that aren't on my TBR. I'm doing TBRs this year. I usually don't do them, but I'm gonna do one every month this year. But the books on my TBR, I haven't read any of them. And so I wanted to kind of play catch up because it is currently January 27th. The month is almost over. And I haven't read any books on my TBR. It's been books outside of my TBR. But so I'm going to try to start strong this year and actually read the books that are on my TBR. So I'm just going to go through them and show you what I plan on reading in these 24 hours. Or the books that I can choose from. I don't think I'm going to read all of these in the 24 hours, but we'll see. First I have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is part of the Taylor Jenkins Reid universe. We meet Carrie Soto in Malibu Rising. And if you're not familiar with Taylor Jenkins Reid's most recent releases, like Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six and Malibu Rising, and most recently Carrie Soto, you'll get the books aren't connected at all, but you'll hear like an inkling of a character that may be in future books. So we meet Carrie Soto slightly in Malibu Rising because our main character, I think her name was Naya, her husband has an affair with Carrie Soto. But it's like a one-page section. It's not a big like cameo or whatever. But Carrie Soto is a famous tennis player who has retired, and she, while she was playing, she won the most Grand Slam, is that what you call them, championships in tennis or whatever. And so when she retired, she had the record for the most wins and slam awards, Grand Slam awards. And she's now 38, and someone has tied her record. And so the book follows like her deciding to come back to tennis to keep that record in her name, basically. So far, I've already started this one. I started it last night. I'm on page 106. So far, I'm worried because I think the Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I have enjoyed are ones that I connect to the characters and I want to see the characters win, figuratively. I loved Evelyn Hugo. I love Malibu Rising, and I could not stand Daisy Jones and the Six. This one is starting. Let me just cut to the chase. Carrie Soto isn't my favorite character. She's kind of a brat that I'm not rooting for right now at this time in the story. My favorite character so far in the book is her dad. Her dad is her manager, and he's who taught her how to play tennis and who has been training her since she was young. So the parts that I've read so far in the book are basically before she became the big star and how she became that big star. And so I'm on part 2 now, which is the comeback of her coming back and training to take control of her record again. But Carrie Soto is a brat. Like, I don't care if she wins or loses at this point. I don't care if she gets the record back, like if she beats the up-and-coming tennis legend. I really don't care at this point because she is a brat. I feel like you can make characters confident and strong without making them unlikable. I don't know. I may be solo or alone in this opinion, but I don't care for her. But I really like her dad. Her dad is a really good character. But that's, I'm hoping to see if that changes so far in the rest 200 or so pages I have left in this one. But yeah, next I have The Black Kids by Christina Hammond Reed. I knew I remembered that. The Black Kids is, I think I heard the author talking about it and she said it's a historical fiction. But I'm pretty sure it takes place in 1992. I bought this book so long ago, so this may be a jagged summary, but I think this follows a black girl in Los Angeles who goes to a predominantly white school. It's 1992, I just saw it here. And what do you call them? It just slipped my tongue. The riots that happened in LA. I can't think of the man's name. That was violently beaten by LAPD. I can't think of his name. Is it on here? Or maybe I just made it up because it's not on here. Rodney King. Oh my goodness. I knew that, y'all. But it just slipped my mind. So the Rodney King riots happened. And I think our main character is going to struggle with how her friends at her school reacts. I'm not 100% sure. But I know this centers the LA riots and the Rodney King attack by the LAPD. So we'll see. I can't wait to read this. Next on my list is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I'm not sure what this is about, but it's a romance, and I wanted to get it read before the temperature starts to rise again. And lastly, I have a paper cut, y'all, and I just feel like I just scraped it again against that book. But anyway, and lastly, I have The Tower of Nero by Rick Riordan. This is the last book in the Trials of Apollo series that I want to get read before I continue my reread of Percy Jackson. So that's why this is on my list. So those are the 4 books I have on my TBR for this weekend. It is currently, or at least 24 hours, but I'll probably keep going past the 24 hours and just make it like a weekend vlog. We'll see. But it's currently 9:35. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's currently 9:35 a.m. Excuse me. I'm probably going to go to sleep. I'm probably not going to stay awake, just an FYI. But I will try to stay awake as long as possible. But I'm probably going to get at least a little bit of sleep, y'all. Because if I get sleepy, I'm just going to go to sleep. It's hard for me to stay awake. But anyway, I'll check in with y'all once I have an update or I finish a book. We'll see when I update y'all.
you can't hide.
Okay guys, I'm back. I have finished Carrie Soto is Back. I don't know why I was that close to the camera. But I finished it at around 3:10 p.m. It's 3:35 now. And I gave it 4 stars. It was great. It's probably 3rd in my rankings of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books that I have read. But what can I say? It was so much fun to see, I don't want to say soften, but to watch Carrie Soto be such a, let me start here, okay? In my earlier review or check-in where I was telling you about the book, I was saying that Carrie Soto isn't a likable character, which I knew it was on purpose. And there were things I needed Taylor Jenkins Reid to do in order for me to come and see her vision, like to read and see her vision on how she wanted to evolve this character, which most books that doesn't happen. Like if I don't like a book, the author doesn't do the legwork in order for me to start liking them in the end. But I did. She did. Taylor Jenkins Reid, she did do it. So Carrie Soto's dad, Javier, is her coach. And he's been teaching her how to play tennis since she could hold a racket. And they both suffer from a great loss. Her mother passes away probably before she can even remember who her mom is. She was so young. And I think that how her dad taught her and continued to raise her after that moment had an effect on how she treated other people and how she came across to other people and how she lived her life. Because and her point as this comeback, Carrie Soto doesn't have any friends, as you recall, and as she's training and losing and fighting to have a comeback in this tennis season of 1995, I believe, we see her become to evolving by there's a character introduced that Carrie has dated in the past who has now come back into her life. That is probably one of my favorite characters along with her dad. My favorite characters, I can just say that, were her dad, Javier, the character I'm talking about now, it was Bowen or Bo, and her adversary that she is fighting to keep her record, this girl from breaking her record, which is Nikki Chan, who she is wanting to compete against throughout the book. My 3 favorite characters, hands down. But the legwork that I was saying earlier that Taylor Jenkins Reid put in to make Carrie a likable character is characters telling her how it is, basically. Like saying, I wrote some of it down. Like there was a part, like, let me see if I can find it or get to it. Oh, so throughout the book, you have like transcripts from sportscasters talking about the tennis season, and in this one, she said, "But an athlete's job is not just to win; it's also to become someone we can cheer for." And it's just like I just kept saying, "Period," because she was saying the same things I was saying on why she was an unlikable character, you know, and Carrie's journey on realizing why she is an unlikable character and why. Like the main thing was, because this is all about her comeback, my main issue with Carrie was she wanted to come back to save her record. And it's just like, ma'am, it's 1980. I think she got the record in like 1986 or something. Ma'am, there's gonna be more and more and more and more and more women and girls, young girls, who are going to be competing in this avenue of tennis, and they are most likely going to beat your record. I think humans, I don't want this is going to sound crazy, but I think as humans we evolve. The man who was the best basketball player in 1908 is not going to be able to compete against LeBron James. So every time somebody comes close to your record, you can't just jump back into tennis and say, oh, I got to defend my record. That's not how that works, ma'am. You're going to break a hip. And that was just like, what is her purpose of coming back? Because I couldn't take just her saying, oh, I got to defend my record. Because that didn't make sense to me. Because somebody else, if this girl doesn't break your record, somebody else is going to come and break that record from you or whatever. And that's when there's a point where she's talking with Bo, who is also a tennis in the male area. He's a famous tennis player. And they're having an argument. And he says, you act like you've dedicated your life to tennis, but you came back to win, not to play. And when Carrie came to that realization herself, because I don't think she came to it at that point in the book with Bo, when Bo was talking to her, when she came to it by herself, I was like, okay, now I can see what kind of character you are. Because I know what kind of character she was because of how she was raised by her dad. But when she came to that realization, that's when I started to tolerate her. And I guess I could say I like her a little bit. But anyway, in the end, I like how we came to that conclusion. That's just a long-winded way of me saying that. And also, even though I'm saying I like her, I still was not rooting for her in the end. And I won't say if she did or didn't, but I really enjoyed the journey of learning about Miss Soto, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Miss Reed, and I can't wait to see what she comes out with next. But anyway, now that I have finished my first book in this reading vlog, I think I'm gonna read The Black Kids. This is gonna be my next read, but first I'm gonna go and get some snacks, and I'll check in with y'all later. Bye-bye. Okay, everyone, I'm back for a quick update. It is currently 12:38 in the morning. You can't see that. And unfortunately, I'm only on page 118 of The Black Kids. It's interesting so far. Right now, it's kind of hit a lull. It's making me want to put it down. But we're following a senior in high school named Ashley living in Los Angeles. Her parents, they live in like the hills. They go to private school. She goes to a private school. Her sister has kind of left or not associating with their family and has moved in with this guy that she met, and they've got married. And this is all happening. I feel like I'm not even tired. I don't know why I'm just talking crazy. Anyway, so Ashley is this privileged black girl living in Los Angeles in a private school. She has all white friends that say a lot of microaggressions that she lets just pass by. She's getting ready for prom. She's going through the last few weeks of high school. She has an estranged relationship, or her parents have an estranged relationship with her oldest sister, who has dropped out of college, and her parents are disappointed because they feel like, we've given you all these tools, you didn't grow up how we did, and you're disappointing us, basically. And all of this stuff is happening on the backdrop of the Rodney King riot. Our main character Ashley isn't really paying attention to what's the events that are occurring. She's kind of seeing it through the lens of other people paying attention to it, if that makes any sense. Like, she'll be walking to class and see like the lady at the front desk watching the news on a miniature television, or she'll see the news in the bank, or her mom will be watching it. She or her sister will talk to her about it, but she herself isn't really paying attention to it. And I think that's something that may change as I continue reading. But I'm about to get ready for bed. And I don't know, y'all. I think I may pause on this one because it's kind of hit kind of a lull. And since it's like late at night now, I think I need something with more stuff happening, because our main character, Ashley, she's kind of a stagnant character. And by that, I mean she is kind of just letting life happen to her and not really doing anything. She applied to Stanford. Stanford is her dream school, but right now she's on the waiting list, so even that is kind of stagnant because that is the school she wants to go into, although other schools have accepted her. But she really isn't an active character, if that makes any sense. So I may pause this and pick this back up tomorrow, but we'll see. I'll check in with y'all later. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, I'm back with another update. Today, it's Sunday morning. Ooh. And I have finished The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. And I'm not sure what I'm rating it, y'all. I have to think on it some more, but it'll probably be maybe a 3.75, or I may just round it up to a 4. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember my last update I was telling y'all that our main character, Ashley, she just was letting everything happen to her. She had no agency to want to pay attention to things that were happening around her or making decisions. She was just kind of letting things happen to her and reacting afterwards. And things that she did react to or things that she did have sort of an agency on weren't really the best decisions. For example, there are a group of black kids at her school that she doesn't hang around because the girls that she does hang around, the white girls that she does hang around, she's known her entire life. So she hasn't really gotten close or interacted with the other black kids at her school. But the one guy who is kind of popular, he's on the basketball team, he's a good guy. He comes to school with a fresh pair of Jordans on, a new pair of Jordans, and she throws out there just to her group of friends, like, do you think he stole those? Well, no, she doesn't say that. She's like, I think she was like, how do you think he got those if he's so poor, or something like that, because he is at this private school on scholarship. And that starts a rumor around school that he was one of the looters during the Rodney King riots. And she faces consequences for that. And she's also in a secret, it's not even a relationship, but she's behind one of her friend's back. She's messing around with one of her friend's boyfriends. And that's also a thing she has to face consequences with. On the bright side of those consequences, it kind of helps her to become someone who pays attention to what's going on around her and the position she's in and the position that the other black kids at her school are in and the position her sister is in and her parents, her cousin, like she starts to pay attention. And like I said before, when she would hear about the riots that were going on in Los Angeles, it would be catch her attention because somebody else was paying attention to it. She wouldn't necessarily pay attention to it. But we see that shift towards the end of the book where she starts making declarations on what she thinks when she hears the news, or like she's saying, they call them the riots, but there are plenty of black people out there that aren't doing damage to their own neighborhoods, as the news was saying. Like my sister, you could see her having opinions and reactions that were valid, and it was very nice to see. But also, I want to say that I wanted more from that, but I also understand that she is a senior in high school and she hasn't come into her own identity and her own opinions on the social injustices of the world, so I can't really fault the book for that. But I really enjoyed it. It was a fun, quick read. I cried in one chapter specifically that made me tear up, about her and her sister, a situation her sister was going through, and then I wasn't expecting to cry at that part. But yeah, I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. Yeah. But I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I started A Merry Little Meet Cute last night. I read like the first 50 pages, I think. but I'm not sure if I want to continue that right now. I may pick up the Apollo Trials book, The Tower of Nero, or Nero. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But I'll check in with y'all once I decide. All right? Bye-bye.